Freeloaders. I'm 3T.
And I'm Mike Papa Foxtrot.
Freeloaders is a regular look at what is or has been free to download from the PlayStation Network. We download the games and give them a play and see if they're worth the download, bandwidth and time.
This time we're looking at FIFA 22, EA's 29th installment of the extremely popular FIFA series. This version introduces hypermotion technology, which uses motion capture data collected from 22 real-life players playing a complete high-intensity football match in motion capture suits. The game was released worldwide on the 1st of October 2021 on all major consoles, and these are our first impressions.
Hooray, I love football. We narrowly avoided one of these. Was it 2 years ago now, where the FIFA got replaced? One of the FIFA games was going to be.
Yes, it got replaced for. Wasn't it that game that downloaded?
It was the Android game, wasn't it?
The Android game, Barely Human, Alive,
something like that. Yeah,
almost human.
Yeah.
It was actually, which actually, to be honest, was actually not too bad.
It was fine.
Massive download,
yeah.
And it downloaded music and all sorts.
It assumed I wanted DLC for some reason, and I really didn't. But never mind.
Other than that, it was fine. Yeah, and it was actually about this time of the year as well. Actually, I think it was June.
Yeah, it must have been because I believe we were in the same country, which is.
I think we were in the same room.
Neither here nor there for anybody else.
We were sitting around a little blue Yeti microphone with a Generation 1 PlayStation 4 screaming for life because it was quite hot.
That sounds about right. Which is still screaming for life right now in my room, where I am. But yeah, we've narrowly avoided it. I think we've put this off for a couple of weeks now. We're doing this a little bit later in the month because football is neither our passion nor our interest. I think it's fair to say.
No, I mean, to be honest, I don't utterly hate football. I just don't necessarily enjoy it. I mean, the funny thing is, rugby, I can actually get behind a little bit, and I don't know why. American football, forget. But when it comes to like football, I've never really been that keen on it. Yeah, sure, I'll kick a ball around if I have to, but that's about it, really. I mean, it's been a staple of console games. Even the little handheld sort of like plink plink games have got a football game. Almost every single generation of console has them. And I'm sitting here thinking, this is the 29th installment of this game. Now, theoretically, and I could be wrong here, this probably is very similar to FIFA 2021. It's probably very similar to 2020, and it probably is similar to 2019. Theoretically, aren't they just reskinning the game? I suppose they must have to change the engine.
Well, I guess
that's why they're going on about this hypermotion technology.
Yeah, pretty much what I was going to say as well. I suppose it's like you say. It's to me, I've seen. I have played. Oh God, that's longer ago than I wanted to think about. But it must have been probably about 15 years ago that I would have actually played a FIFA game before. So yeah, I get the impression that they are it's an evolution rather than a revolution. To say that strangely, evolution, not revolution, in football games.
I think the last kind of FIFA football game I played, it was all about opening cards. It was like cards, but then there's been quite a lot of games like that where you have to have little card packs, and then of course you can go and buy them. We've seen it in quite a lot of games. I think that's what the evolution of loot boxes and things like that. So, to be honest with you, as long as it doesn't affect the game, I really don't care. I don't really care about it.
I can sort of see tying it together. There is one of those things that goes with football is, little children collecting, and grown men, whatever, not judging, but collecting cards and stickers and filling albums. So I can sort of see tying that together because that has been done for at least as long, if not a lot longer than these games have existed on consoles.
Yeah, because there used to be the little sort of like what were they called? Pico. What are they? That's the company. That
Panini.
Used to have the little Panini. Yeah, that's the one. They have the big annuals that you put the. So I can see the connection. Again, as long as it doesn't affect the game. The problem I have, though, with this hypermotion technology is this seems to me just to be a made-up technology. Because let's be honest,
well, all technology is made up.
There's been full motion capture in games for a very long time now. You think of Call of Duty and things like that. A lot of the characters are like full motion captures and things like that. That's how they do it. And you've seen this kind of full motion capture stuff going on.
Well, especially in sports games, like WWE, exactly. Sports on the edge of it, isn't it? And tennis games and things, and baseball. And you'd think they must be capturing it. They're not making it up out of the top of their head. No, they do, because they wear the suits with the little ping pong balls on them and things like that. So again, I just think this is the rebranding of a rebranding of a rebranding. Well,
but anyway, I could be wrong. I mean, again, what do I know?
Ultimately, I don't think it matters. I don't think they can hinge it on it, because really, what you're not looking at, unless these games have changed that much in the last 15 years or so, you're not going to be looking at them in a great amount of detail. You're going to have a lot of little men on a screen. Who are very far away, and there'll be some up, probably when people do their little celebrations when they score goals. I'm assuming that one of us will be able to score at least a goal during our test game as well.
How do you think this is going to play? Do you think this is going to be a top-down sort of or isometric type game, or do you think this is going to be a Football Manager type game where you manage it, or do you think you're going to be playing first person? I mean, what is, or third person? What do you? Because I mean, the last proper football games that I played were basically like a Football Manager, as far as I could tell, where you managed, or remember, it was where you actually managed the game, and then the other one was a long time before that, and it was very top down. And very much a button masher.
I get the impression from my previous, I think it was FIFA that I played anyway all those years ago. It might have been Pro Evo, but I get the impression it is going to be like watching it on the telly. Like, you're going to be watching it from above, pressing a button to pass to your next player, very much like the basketball games that we've played and things like that. So that's my assumption. That is what I'm expecting.
Do you actually think that a first person mode for this game, this kind of games, would actually be? Because you can imagine, right? The technology exists now to have 64 or more people. In fact, you look at games like Fortnite with battle royale modes and things like that.
Yeah.
You have hundreds of players. You could have an entire team playing. It would be terrible if you had to sit on the bench.
I think the reason that wouldn't work is because everybody wants to be the main character in their own story, and you would not have a cohesive team of people playing, because nobody wants to be the guy who's just running up and down the field.
I think that would make it funnier.
It would just be a pylon.
Well, no, hang on. It does work sometimes with clans and things like that.
Maybe.
In first-person shooters. I mean, if you haven't done it, EA, there's an idea for you.
Somebody wants to be the competitor who does something different in a football game. Is assign everybody.
I'll be the guy who hands the oranges out at half time. And you could have randomly selected referees and linesmen.
Well, certainly one to think about. I do think
anyway,
your masterful delaying tactics are incredible.
I was about to say, shall we push
let's push X and probably
be in the game,
sell our souls to EA, which is probably going to come up in a second on the screen, I would assume.
I'm pushing X very much now. Initializing. That's always a bad sign.
I do like, I don't know who this player is. His signature seems to start with a V, but he's very optimistic. He's the guy I've got on my screen, at least, is very cheery. He's very happy. He should be at the amount he's getting paid, I would have thought. I've got a little opening ceremony.
And here it is, the last lap in the season.
I bet people love this. Imagine loving football. This would be great.
Look, it's Chelsea. I've got Chelsea up.
Yeah, I've got Chelsea in Paris.
Surely Chelsea shouldn't be playing. Aren't they under some kind of embargo for something? Insert political nonsense here and ignore and move on.
I've got no clue. You could tell me anything about any team, and I would believe you if you said it in convincingly enough.
Well, Paris is the capital city of Italy.
Oh, okay, interesting.
What more could you ask for?
I like the guys with the steady cameras. They are the better athletes running with that kind of gear. As someone who has actually used a big bloody heavy camera and run after people with them, I will tell you, you have to be relatively fit to carry a steady cam.
Should we be skipping this? I'm letting it play, but...
No, just let it play. It's all part of the experience, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing.
Is this what people like? What's good about football? I have no idea.
Well, it's the tradition. I mean, to be honest, it is a competitive sport. Let's be honest. It's like any sport that's competitive. And if you're into the competitiveness of it, that's great. I have actually been to football matches. I've actually been there, and when you're actually in the arena, it's a very different experience than watching.
I guess that's true of any sport, really. Maybe anything you see live.
Let's be honest. I mean, what do people see in snooker? I mean, I love snooker.
I do.
Snooker's fantastic, but it's how does it differ from football? I mean, So
I enjoy the maths and the angles. I guess I suppose it boils down to how much fun did you have in PE at school? And my answer is
like I said, that's
none.
why I think I like rugby. I like rugby. I didn't like football. I mean, it's the same with cricket. I like cricket. I think cricket's good fun. I mean, what do people see in cricket? I mean, most people tell me the rules are unfathomable, but they're quite easy to understand. Unlike baseball, which is just like, I mean, we even played a baseball game, and I still don't understand the rules.
That actually turned out to be okay, and I don't know if that was an EA game as well.
That was EA, yeah, that was an EA game. I mean, again, though, I still couldn't tell you what the rules of baseball were.
Have we been thrown
I've got
straight into this?
I don't know.
X is passing. I'm using X to pass the ball, or at least kick it. But now the yellow men have got my ball, so I don't really.
Oh, we are playing the same. We are playing the same game then.
We do seem to be.
How do I?
I don't.
How do I throw myself on the ground?
I want to start crying.
Yeah, so I get the sponge man to come and look after me.
I don't know. Very annoyingly, my crowd are chanting stupid crap.
Oh yeah, I mean, there definitely would need to be volume turned down at some point. No! Oh, the yellow people just scored a goal against me.
Did they? I am assuming I'm going the right way, of course. I've no idea. I think this might be a tutorial.
I appear to be playing for PSG, which I think is Paris.
So square seems to be tackle.
Yeah, you slide down and stuff.
How do I change to the next guy? Because I'm not controlling anybody anymore. Okay. How do I?
And there are different kicks, though. I just kicked that right to that guy's feet, which.
So shoulder buttons seem to switch between players.
Yeah. Now, I just knocked the ball off of get a throw-in going. Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating it. It's...
Well, I think this is some kind of tutorial. This is just throwing you straight into a game just to get used to the idea, you know?
Just to get you button mashing.
Yeah.
Oh! I couldn't control that.
Okay, my goalie he did his job pretty well. I don't need to see a replay, though.
Oh, you can push X to cancel the replay.
Okay. Come on, boys. Rah, rah, rah. Come on, football, and score a goal. I'm just going to see.
Come on. There we go. Yeah.
How quickly my guys can run. Is there a sprint button? Because he's not very fast, and he's got a man chasing him.
Mbappe.
Yeah, I don't really. Again, probably because I haven't played very many of these. I don't really like the selection of the guy. It keeps picking people I don't want it to pick.
Yeah, I mean, you can go through the shoulder buttons too.
Yeah, but it picks people I don't want.
Yeah. Just want to see if I can hurt someone.
He just kicked that offside. That means I get a corner. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Well,
I mean, again, I would hate to have to explain the offside rule.
I have no clue. Even as a joke, I wouldn't have a clue what was going on. So, am I supposed to be going this way? I don't even know which way I'm supposed. Which way are you shooting? Left to right?
I'm going. Yeah, I'm on the left, and I'm trying to get it into the goal on the right.
Okay, that's good because that's what I've been trying to do. So.
Oh, I've already. I had that confirmed for me when I lost. Oh, come on, ref.
Chuck it in, boys. Just get it over with, eh?
Yeah! I just got a yellow card.
Yeah, he really wanted to just tackle somebody.
No, I think technically he'd already. Clearly in the action replay, the ball had already been passed, and I went after the player.
PSG struggling to keep the ball.
This is taking a remarkable amount of concentration, I have to say.
That was handball. Come on. You think he is bloody Maradona?
A really single-minded piece of defending to make sure nothing.
I'm just happy that the other team. I'd like to score a goal.
That would be useful.
The only thing I want to do.
If I can't score a goal, I want to really hurt another player.
Oh, I've already done that. I've already got a yellow card.
I think that should be an achievement. Achievement unlocked.
It's a poor tackle.
Okay, boys, just grab the ball. Let's get this tutorial over with so we can try and maybe get a one-on-one game going for some extra stuff.
I mean, I'm at 27 minutes.
I'm at 32 apparently.
Okay.
Oh, I've passed to the other team like a real idiot.
Oh, my goalie's a bloody star.
Yeah, I have to say, all the automated people are doing much better. So is it just X to kick to score, yeah, to try and score a goal?
Yeah. I think you've just basically got to position your players into the right place. I think there's also a little bit of luck as well, if I'm absolutely honest. I don't feel I'm in control. I don't feel I'm in control of this at all.
Give it back.
I will say that I am button mashing, and this reminds me very much of top-down football. And this is why I don't really like. I mean, whereas the baseball game that we played, I actually felt in control. This I don't.
Come on, it's open. No.
And the commentator is irritating.
All right, it can't. It's not X to shoot, surely, because all I'm doing is tapping it to the goalie.
Oh, so it must be a different.
So what is shoot?
Oh, surely me in the box while the ref. Surely that's not right.
Oh, what am I doing? I hate football.
Oh, I'm about to lose. Yeah, we got control, didn't we, boys? Yeah, I think X is pass.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work out what shoot is because I had a really good open goal situation just now, and I really ruined it.
Square seems to go up. Yeah,
circle seems to be shoot. Okay, that was okay.
And the whistle is sounded for
half time.
Yeah, I think we have to play the whole tutorial.
Yeah, well, we'll do that, and as our first the first half, shall we? And then and then we'll get together and play a few games and see how we feel.
Okay, I'm now in extra time. Apparently,
I'm at half time, so
okay.
Just gonna skim through all this stuff. Don't care about these laid backs.
I think I'm in overtime because I went for penalty. I sort of basically attacked the player. So
resume. So now I'm going the other way. That's the only other thing I know about football is that I think that means I'm going the other way now, doesn't it?
Yes.
I don't know how it makes any difference to you at all which way you shoot, but there you go.
Oh well, because it's to take out the let's play a whole game. You might as well.
Okay.
But basically, it's to take out the wind and potential pitch variations, and also the crowd might put people off. So I can kind of understand that. That makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think I'm slightly behind you because I kicked another player in the leg.
Yeah, I suppose I've been pressing skip on things as well, so I don't want to see playbacks and stuff. John, just boot it in. Oh.
Right.
Angry man in a suit.
I selected that guy, and for some strange reason, it didn't pick him. I don't feel I'm in control.
I hate to say.
I really don't feel I'm in control. I'm not hating it, but I don't feel in control, you know?
I might be having an okay time. Hey, I got a goal! The whole camera just shook. It's like there's an earthquake going on now. I got a goal. I'm happy now I've at least done something worthwhile in a game I don't care about.
Well, the problem I'm having is that I'm fighting the AI a little bit.
Yeah.
Because several times I've now selected a player and the AI has rejected that selection, and I guess like I want him, but it wouldn't let him. It wouldn't. This is the problem. This is the problem I have with this kind of game. It is I don't feel there's any real science to it. There must be, but I don't feel that there is. I mean, I don't care if men were running around with ping pong ball suits on to get this reality as real as possible. I just.
It might as well be Sabutio to me.
Yeah, well, I feel more control with Sabutio.
Oh, it's going off the edge.
Just as it was looking promising.
I feel a little bit more in control. I mean, this feels like air hockey, but air hockey played by a man who's got handcuffs on.
Essentially, all I want to do now is make sure that these guys don't get to the other side of that field.
Oh.
You know, not even using the lingo.
Got massive hands. His hands are far too big.
Hey, I've scored 2 goals.
I've scored no
massive
goals
hands. Sorry, what do you mean?
My goalkeeper's got. It's like his gloves make it look like he's wearing those big foam hands.
Is he cheating?
I think he is.
Oh, well, I'm quite pleased now. I look reasonably semi-competent. Thank you, game tutorial. It's pretty much what I expected it to be. I don't see how any kind of special new version of the motion capture makes this play any better. It's purely a gimmick.
It won't let me select him. Then when it did, it was... Oh, God. I am fighting the AI here, and I'm not enjoying it.
Oh, I thought they were going to get a goal in, but they didn't.
Literally fighting the bloody AI here.
So we're playing as Paris.
Oh, Mr. Captain Big Hands. Bloody hell.
It's a short corner.
I don't think this is... I mean, what we could do is, after we have finished the tutorial, we'll probably break and probably see if we can actually play against each other, because that might actually be a lot more fun.
That will be a lot more fun, yeah.
A cheating AI with far too big hands.
I can't believe I'm actually making noises indicating I'm into this, because they nearly got...
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like I said, I'm not hating it, but it's at the end of the day, I'm also very annoyed with the jumping from the players. I'm trying to select players by rotating through, and I'm either double tapping or I'm fighting the AI, because the AI kind of decides.
I guess just the guy who's nearest is the one. Whoever's nearest.
You get you get little arrows over other people. Every now and then it goes green, and when I'm selecting it to go green, and then it changes back to.
Yeah, I can. If there's a ghost arrow over somebody, then that's the next one in the list to select, I suppose. I'm not very happy with all the action now being in front of my team's goal. I liked it better when we were on the other side and all that, but anyway, Rudiger not very happy with his performance there, apparently.
Come on. Oh, get out of the way.
I've got a good goalie at least. He does seem to be doing his job pretty well.
It's the other way. Oh, okay. I've been going the wrong way. Okay, I understand.
I think what's interesting is the game is getting. It feels like the AI is getting cleverer as the game is being taught. As I learn more as a player, they are getting more aggressive. They were a little bit easier to tackle in the first half. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, well, I think with me it's probably not bothered then. Because
No, but I think it's just giving you more info about the game. Oh, that looked like a bit of a wussy. Oh no, I've hurt myself. Slide.
I don't know if I was offside there or not. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't have a clue what it even meant. I know it as a punchline.
Apparently, I was offside. Yeah. Look at me and my football knowledge.
Go on, explain the offside rule then, because I have no clue.
I don't know. I was apparently past the defenders and on the wrong side of the goal line or something.
Wrong side of the goal line?
Yeah, no, like there's the little inner box.
I guess.
I think that's where it is. I should really look it up, but there's nothing more annoying.
They don't want me to have the ball.
Kick him in the head. Go on.
I think
He's not using his head.
Hey, achievement unlocked. One of my guys got a yellow card because I just kicked the guy.
Oh, did I get an achievement for that?
No. Just between the two of us, achievement. That was all. I wanted to get a yellow card at some point in this game, so because you got one.
Oh, nice shot, my friend. Nice go. At least Captain Big Hands didn't touch it, so that's fine.
Oh, boys, come on.
It's looking promising.
Well, I've had a couple of strikes on goal, a couple of good punts at it. So, come on, ref, make the goalie kick the ball. He's wasting time.
There will be 3 minutes added on at the end. Well, not the best
Just
clearance.
lob it out of the way. Nobody wants it in there.
Oh, I've got 3 minutes of time added on to mine.
I don't know what. I'm just trying to get it away from my goal. Oh, I think that's the end of the game. 2-0.
Parisian pride shines through. PSG have cleared the ball.
Well,
No, wait. Every player that I've selected. Oh, I'm so glad my goalie's got smaller hands. That's not fair. Actually, he hasn't. He's got massive gloves as well. I didn't realise goalie gloves were that big. Oh no, they're normal now. Okay.
Of their lives, and they're determined to enjoy every.
So you're in extra time now, are you?
I am, yeah. I got apparently 3 minutes of extra time or something.
Well, my boys are all very happy. They're doing a ring around the rosies. They're a few seconds away from a tissue. We all fall down. They've got a big shiny cup, and they're all very pleased with themselves.
The coveted Champions League trophy.
Well, there's some tired players out there, but what you can be sure
we're doing all right. Come on, let's get a goal.
Get their hands on the trophy. They'll be going
I lost. Down by 1. 0-1 to me.
Well, with that initial tutorial game over, I guess what we'll do is regroup. We'll see if we can play a game against each other. We'll capture some images, and then we'll come back momentarily with our thoughts on this game about loads of thick millionaires kicking a bit of leather around a field.
So we put some time into FIFA 22, and it's definitely in the game. We've had some fun times, I think, playing against each other. I think you and I playing against each other a lot more fun than perhaps playing against the AI. Would you agree, 3T, or did I read the situation incorrectly?
Yeah, no, I've had a lot of fun with it, and I'm quite surprised. And I think that directly comparing the AI versus playing against a real player is apples and oranges. But what I really like is the just going straight into our categories, talking about playability, straight off the bat, they're very, very good with what they do, is that they throw you straight into that tutorial, and it's only, we made a joke, I think, in the first part about, we're going to sign our lives away to EA. They wait until you've at least played a game before they throw that at you, and I think that's kind of nice. It's that, do you agree to all the terms and conditions, and now you've played it? Because if you didn't, that's your opportunity to just go, nah. But yeah, it's...
And also, a very forgiving tutorial where you can kind of test things out and work out how does this work. And what we were just discussing just before we started recording was that I sort of said the biggest problem I was having with it was that the AI was doing too much thinking for me. I was trying to sort of move a player. I was trying to sort of flick to a player to play a player, and then it would flick in a different way. And we said that it's probably intuitive if you have played these games before. And, let's be honest, there have been a few of these, 29, in fact. And it's the same with a first-person shooter. We always just go, yep, that's fine. And the only thing that sometimes changes... Or a driving game. The only thing that sometimes changes is whether it's the triggers or the shoulders. There's that terrible moment where you go to, bring the gun sights up, and next thing you know, you're cooking a hand grenade. Oops. But other than that little irritation, that I didn't really feel in control as much as perhaps I could have done. And in fact, I think I said to you, I didn't feel... I felt about the same amount of control in that as when I've played a top-down sort of football game in the past. But that's probably, again, because this isn't my cup of tea. This isn't what I'm really into. And maybe that instinctiveness comes and you learn when to trust the AI and when not to. Because, let's be honest, when you're first-person shooting, you're not doing all that yourself. I'm pretty sure that sometimes the engine is taking care of things for you in the background.
I felt like, I think I said to you in sort of our third game, and the fact that we played more than one game tells you we did have a good time with it. But in our third game that we played, I said I'm just sort of letting things happen. I'm because the action is going to follow the ball, and I think I gave myself over to the game in the control system. And it is pretty instinctive. You as a gamer, you're going to be pressing X. X is the first button you're likely to press, and the game knows that, so that's pass. Your next one you're likely to try is going to be the square or the circle, and you're going to find out pretty quick that you're going to dive and tackle, or you're going to boot the hell out of the ball. And so having those three main buttons is pretty much all you need to know. And then the shoulder buttons, you know that the shoulder buttons are going to navigate you through something, and so switching between players became instinctive pretty quickly. So I'm really impressed that somebody like me, who actively hates football, can pick this up and firstly play it to a semi-competent state, and also want to play more and have fun. So I'm really surprised with a few things about this month's game.
Oh yeah, I mean the thing is, I wasn't not having fun. I mean, it's not a game that perhaps that it's high on my list of games I would have wanted to play. But yeah, certainly the fun factor was there. Again, I'm not sure how much of that was that I was competing against you. I don't think I will want to play the campaign. I don't think this will draw me to play the campaign. Whereas, for example, 2K21 PGA Golf drew me into the campaign, and I did actually play the whole campaign all the way through. I don't see myself playing against the AI with this because, but again, that's the difference. That's the different sporting style. Golf, you're playing against yourself. Here, you're playing against an AI. So I don't see myself wanting to play this unless there is someone like you online that I'd want to play with. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no reward to me in beating the AI, whereas we were shouting and screaming when we were playing games against each other, because it's the proper the competitive nature isn't there unless you either, like, even playing against strangers, I don't think I would care, but I want to play against someone who I know and we can talk about it afterwards. Did you remember when this happened?
It's like when you got that when I got that own goal, it came off of me and I was like, it's an own goal, and you're like, no, it wasn't.
No, I'll take responsibility for that. How dare you?
Yeah. And then when you then got your own, when you then scored a goal properly, I do think I said, "Oh, well done," and you were like, "What? Did I not get that in?"
I was concerned that maybe I had scored an own goal because you were so pleased. You were pleased that it had gone in.
Yeah, of course I'm pleased because it was a bloody good shot. But the thing is, I think you now understand the offside rule really well.
Oh,
so
I haven't got
that's
a clue.
good.
Not a clue. I know it happens a lot. I wonder if it happens that much in real football. Who can say? No. I will never watch.
I don't think it does, because I think in real football the wingers and the attackers. I think wingers is a rugby term. The attackers. I don't know what they are. Shooters. The guys that run up against the defenders and try and put the bally in the netty.
Yeah, sorry, you lost me with your technical words.
Yes. But yeah, definitely a fun factor. And I don't know if that's because we went in with like a disappointing expectation, instantly turned around. We have this with quite a few games where because part of the reason why we do Freeloaders is that we wanted to broaden our gaming horizons by forcing ourselves to play games that we perhaps wouldn't normally play, which I think is one of the advantages of this PlayStation Network, whatever the hell it's called now, system. But it does mean that sometimes we are forced to play games that we really, really would never pick up, never play. And then we are pleasantly surprised by it.
Well,
so
it's the high ticket item this month, and so we couldn't ignore it, and I'm glad we didn't.
I will say I don't really understand why they're vamping the hypermotion technology, and I think when we were playing a ladies game, all the ladies look the same. So I guess it's to sort of simulate that movement, but again they're so far away from you, so I don't know. But I guess
you could have, to be fair, I could have just as much fun if they had just been shapeless spheres doing the same moves. I don't see that. For some people, I guess they want it to look like a game on the TV.
I think we've played that game. I think it was one of those Volta-Mace arcade games.
Yeah, but it would be like, the fact, as long as the tackling reacts the same way, and as long as the shooting and the passing reacts the same way, it could be any shape. So they're hyping up this hypermotion thing. Brilliant, great, lovely for them, good technology. But I bet if we were to play FIFA 20 or FIFA 19, we wouldn't notice very much difference, you and I.
Well, but then I think this is what's happened in a lot of games. We've seen it in Call of Duty when the Call of Duty jump. We skipped out of a Call of Duty. We came back and it was like the whole graphics had been updated. The whole engine was very much eye candy, and it's eye candy over function. And I think that's just the way that the world is going with this kind of thing.
There's only so much better it can get, because the games for the last probably 10 years, I would say, maybe even are longer, the football games that have been made and sports games in general probably look increasingly like they do to watch a sport on TV. And football games top down from a certain point of view, if you squint, who can tell much difference? So,
well, no, it's the thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you had that on in the background and it was playing, somebody walked into the room would probably think you were watching a football match.
Yeah.
So
there's only so much
it's
you
that
can
kind
do.
of thing.
Yeah.
For example, the best tennis game I think you and I have ever played together was played on a tiny little portable television in a Volta-Mace arcade system that we managed to get working with a lot of wiggling, and we were playing it on a sofa that was about to go in a skip. I mean, that is still my favourite tennis game because it's simple. It just goes boop,
and that's
boop, boop, and that's all I need. I need the functionality to. I don't care about. Don't get me wrong. I like Wii tennis and I like some of the other games, but I prefer. And we've played a tennis game on Freeloaders as well before,
fun with that.
Which we had fun with as well. We had fun with golf. We've had fun with baseball. Still don't understand the bloody rules, but then don't have to. The game does. The game does all the thinking for you. So that's actually quite nice. So what's it similar to really? well, it's similar to all of those games. It's just football.
It's another FIFA game. I don't know the difference, but I would suggest it might be close to Pro Evolution if they even still make that. It's what you expect from a football game. It's not a football manager game on the surface. There might be more levels to it. We have literally played. All we're interested in with things like this, I think, is can we play against each other? Because we're not going to sit and play the campaign. So there might be more depth to it, but it doesn't seem to be a technical game as much as it is an action game. It gets you into the heart of a game of football, which
and I think we worked out how to get together very quickly.
Oh yeah,
very quickly. We jumped through. In fact, I think I have footage of us doing that, working through the menus to actually find it. Because I mean that's this is genuinely first look, and you genuinely jump in and go, how does all this work?
Yeah,
and very quick, very easy. Probably have to blur out the people in my friends list, but other than that, it's note to self. But yeah, I mean, it's basically a what's it similar to? Well, it's pretty much similar to any top-down football or any game which involves passing from one thing to another. What's different about it? Well, this hypermotion technology capture, which makes it look more realistic.
I would argue,
other than that,
if you've played any FIFA game in the last 10 years or so, that you probably wouldn't even necessarily notice much difference apart from in close-ups of and replays and things like that.
It might be slightly more reactive, maybe it's more because of the engine or whatever. I mean, again, don't know, haven't played. I know this sounds awful. Don't really care either.
I'd like to have been the guy who was motion captured for jumping over the flag in that goal celebration, because I'd like to be as flexible as him.
That was a lovely goal. It was the goal went in, and then the guy jumped over the corner flag. It was like, and I think I said to you, God, I'd like to see a slow motion of that. I might actually find that bit.
So it's playable. Yeah. I think it's replayable. I did say, should we have another one?
Yeah. We couldn't stop playing. We kept on playing. We played longer. I mean, so yes, definitely replayable.
I didn't notice, despite the fact that we both went in rolling our eyes in advance, there didn't seem to be any kind of, hey, open these packs of cards, or here's a loot crate full of stuff. And I think this month it's also important to say that there is some DLC available with this game. I haven't downloaded it. I wanted to see what it looked like without, but there is something.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm happy to play it without. I don't need any extra.
But it is available
on top of it.
So if you are going to download it, get both.
I'm wondering if we've confused a different game for football. Maybe this is just pure football, and maybe the game with the cards is like a football manager type thing. Or maybe there's a football manager built in here. I will be absolutely honest with you. Once we found how to play against each other, we didn't really care about anything else in the game.
No. But we're playing it the way we would, so that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we wouldn't play... I mean, I don't think I would play the campaign. So, for me, I'm happy with what I've played, and that's it, really. Yeah. I mean, is it worth the download and the space? Well, it's not as big as I expected. I was quite surprised. It's only 43 gigabytes in size. I was expecting it to be like, good old 60 or, but, no, it's...
all that hypermotion doesn't take up much room, clearly.
No, I mean, maybe it's well compressed. I don't know. But, yeah, so it's not super massive. Which is fine, because, I mean, these days you expect games to just be absolutely huge on disc. I mean, just looking at the PlayStation as we're sitting here, Call of Duty Vanguard, 123.9 gigabytes. And I'm sure there'll be an update along to double that at some point. So, yeah, I mean, it's not super massive. I mean... the Call of Duty Warzone, I'm just picking games that I've got on here, 211.6 gigabytes. I mean, Grand Theft Auto, still got it here, 91.4. I almost heard myself say only 91.4. So, yeah, not super massive by today's standards, not small either, because the golf game that we played was only, I think, 13 gigabytes. Yes, 13 gigabytes in size. So not super massive, reasonably quick to download if you've got a good enough internet connection. And I think if you're playing online games, you're going to have a good enough internet connection. So, yeah.
I think it's worth it. I'd say if you've got somebody... your mileage may vary, but I certainly wouldn't be downloading it for playing against the AI. But if you've got somebody that's going to come round and either sit on the sofa with you or play online with you while you can have a chat, you might be surprised even if you hate football, because I know I was.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, genuinely surprised. I think this happens quite often with us and Freeloaders, though. We get turned around with a game, and I think this is part of opening our eyes to a different game. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we have a game that we go, oh, this looks like a good game, and it's like, and this is one which is, I think, pleasantly surprised us. I know we have the question, which I don't know if we ever should actually ask it, because it's a question we've already paid for it, because we already paid for the network. We've already paid for the Game Pass and all that kind of stuff.
I guess,
so,
is it worth the money? Might be a better question to substitute in.
Yeah, I think it is worth it. I'm not disappointed that we've played it. So for me, it's worth it. Would I have bought this game? Would I have gone out of my way to buy this game? Oh, God, no. Definitely not. But that's just because it's not my cup of tea. But am I happy that I've played it? Yes. Was I annoyed that 3T has actually beaten me so far in aggregate, and we need to come back and I need to make sure I can get him and at least score more goals than he has so I can win? Yes, I am. Oh, sorry. Did I say that all out loud, 3T? Mm-hmm. I think I might.
Or maybe we'll go and play another game in a second. But I think that is it worth it? Would I have bought it? No. I think to not be too political, considering the current cost of living issues that are happening, if you are paying for PlayStation Plus, it's certainly worth adding to your list and adding to your library, because it's a quite pricey game which you definitely get a lot of value out of if you are already paying for your PlayStation Plus membership. On that note, I'm 3T.
And I'm Mike Papa Foxtrot, and we were looking at FIFA 22 that was freeloadable from the PlayStation Network for May 2022.